There are some people in the world who don't just play by the rules, they rewrite them. They don't just understand the system, they bend it to their advantage. One such man is Carl Icahn, a legendary investor who has shaken Wall Street time and again, challenged corporations, and made billions in the process. But his true strength wasn't just money, it was his mindset, patience, and the power of activist investing. Icahn wasn't just a stock market investor. He was a corporate raider, a man who would buy stakes in companies, push for major changes, and make them more profitable. Some called him a villain, others a visionary. But one thing was certain. Wherever he stepped in, transformation was inevitable. Today, we'll explore Carl Icahn's story, his investment strategies, his biggest victories, and the lessons we can all learn from his incredible journey. This is a deep dive into the mind of one of the most daring and successful investors in modern history, the rise of Carl Icahn. Carl Icahn was born in 1936 in a middle-class neighborhood in New York City. His father was a cantor and his mother was a school teacher. Unlike other billionaires who inherited wealth, Icahn built his fortune from scratch. He was a bright student, earning a degree from Princeton University before heading to medical school. But soon, he realized that medicine wasn't for him. He wanted to make money, and lots of it. In 1961, he joined Wall Street as a stockbroker, but that wasn't enough. He had a keen eye for undervalued companies and saw opportunities where others saw risks. By the late 1970s, he had mastered the art of hostile takeovers, a strategy that would make him one of the most feared and respected investors in the world. Icahn was never content with playing it safe. He saw the market as a battlefield, a place where calculated risks could lead to extraordinary rewards. Unlike traditional investors who followed conventional wisdom, Icahn charted his own course, challenging the status quo at every turn. The art of hostile takeovers. Carl Icahn's real genius lay in his ability to spot undervalued companies, acquire a controlling stake, and force management to unlock hidden value. While most investors simply bought and sold stocks, Icahn went a step further. He bought influence. He wasn't just interested in financial returns. He sought power, control, and the opportunity to transform struggling companies into profit-making machines. One of his first big takeovers was Tappan, a struggling appliance company. He saw its potential, took control, and within 2 years, sold it for a 200% profit. This was just the beginning of what would become a legendary career in corporate activism. Then came Trans World Airlines, TWA, in the 1980s, a move that made headlines and established him as Wall Street's most ruthless activist investor. He acquired a massive stake in the airline, forced management to sell off assets, and eventually walked away with hundreds of millions in profit, while the company itself struggled. Some called it genius, others called it corporate destruction. But Icahn didn't care. He was here to win. This became his signature move. He would identify companies where he believed management was inefficient, buy a large stake, and demand change, either through better decision-making or by breaking up the company and selling it for parts. He knew that companies underperforming due to poor management could be turned around with the right leadership or strategic moves. His methods were controversial, but they were undeniably effective activist investing. The Icahn Playbook. Icahn's style of investing was not for the faint-hearted. It wasn't about just holding stocks. It was about taking action. His philosophy was simple but powerful. 1. Find weak companies with strong potential. Icahn would target businesses where he believed poor management was preventing growth. He would carefully assess industries and identify companies that had untapped potential but were being mismanaged. 2. Buy a significant stake. Once he had enough shares, he gained influence over the company's decisions. This influence allowed him to push for changes that would increase the company's value. 3. Demand change. Whether it was cutting costs, selling divisions, or replacing CEOs, Icahn would push for major changes to increase shareholder value. He knew that companies weren't static. They could always be improved with the right decisions. 4. profit from the transformation. Once the stock price rose, he would cash out, making massive profits. By forcing companies to adopt new strategies or make bold changes, Icahn ensured that his investments paid off handsomely. His approach was aggressive, and while many CEOs feared him, shareholders often loved him because he delivered results. Icahn had an uncanny ability to take underperforming companies and turn them around, making billions in the process. His most legendary investments. Icahn's portfolio is full of legendary moves, each one showcasing his ability to spot opportunities where others saw risks. Some of his most notable investments include 1. Apple, the $2 billion profit move. In 2013, Carl Icahn turned his attention to Apple. Despite being one of the world's biggest tech giants, Icahn believed the company was sitting on too much cash. He publicly pushed CEO Tim Cook to buy back billions of dollars in shares, arguing that Apple was undervaluing itself. Apple eventually did initiate a massive buyback program, and Icahn made over $2 billion in profit from his stake before exiting in 2016. His move was widely debated, but Icahn's vision and influence ultimately helped push Apple to use its resources more efficiently. 2. Netflix, the deal of a lifetime. In 2012, when Netflix was struggling and its stock had fallen, Icahn saw an opportunity. He invested heavily, believing in the company's long-term potential. Over the next few years, Netflix's stock soared by over 1,000%, and Icahn made one of his biggest profits ever, nearly $2 billion. It was a bold bet that paid off spectacularly. 3. Herbalife, the ultimate battle. Icahn's most famous rivalry was with billionaire Bill Ackman over Herbalife. Ackman bet $1 billion that Herbalife was a fraud and that the stock would crash. Icahn saw an opportunity and did the exact opposite. He bought Herbalife stock and defended the company. For years, the two billionaires battled, but in the end, Icahn won big, making over $1 billion in profit, while Ackman was forced to exit with massive losses. The battle for Herbalife became a symbol of Icahn's fearless approach to investing, where he took on the odds and came out on top. Lessons from Carl Icahn's success. So what can we learn from Carl Icahn? Here are 5 key lessons from his journey. 1. Think like an owner, not just an investor. Don't just buy stocks, buy influence. Invest in companies where you can push for real change. Icahn wasn't just buying shares, he was buying control and the ability to make a difference. 2. Look for hidden value. Icahn always found companies that were undervalued due to poor management. He knew that the real value could be unlocked with the right moves, and he was always able to spot opportunities that others missed. 3. Have the courage to go against the crowd. When Icahn bought Netflix, many thought he was crazy, but he trusted his analysis and won big. He taught us the importance of trusting our instincts even when the market seems to be going in the opposite direction. 4. Be ruthless, when necessary. Business is not always about being nice. Sometimes hard decisions must be made to increase value. Icahn was never afraid to take bold actions, even if it meant going against powerful executives or investors. 5. Patience pays off. Icahn didn't make his billions overnight. He played the long game, waited for the right moments, and struck when the time was perfect. His ability to exercise patience in a world obsessed with instant results was one of the keys to his success. The legacy of Carl Icahn. Today, Carl Icahn is in his late 80s, but he remains one of the sharpest minds in finance. His reputation as a corporate raider, activist investor, and Wall Street legend is unmatched. He has influenced some of the biggest companies in the world and made billions along the way. Whether you love him or hate him, his impact on the business world is undeniable. He changed how investors think, how companies operate, and how power works on Wall Street. His methods have been adopted by countless other investors, and his legacy will continue to shape the world of finance for generations to come. As we wrap up Carl Icahn's journey, Carl Icahn's philosophy is about being bold, challenging the status quo, and seeing opportunities where others see obstacles. His journey is proof that success isn't just about following the rules. It's about knowing when to break them. So the next time you look at a stock, don't just ask, is it a good investment? Ask, how can I create value? Because that's how legends are made. That's how Carl Icahn became one of the greatest investors of all time. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Carl Icahn's investing philosophy, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more legendary investor stories. Which investor should we cover next? Let us know in the comments.